What's going on, everybody? It's Moonshine, Hillbilly Hellraiser. How's everyone doing? That's all right. I figured I would hop on here on a nice, balmy Sunday, excuse me, Saturday. Don't even know what day it is. Saturday morning, and ruin your day and bore you to tears. Uh, had a cool night last night. I got to see Cardiac Arrest in Tampa at the Brass Mug, a very, very cool club. I talk about it quite a bit, and the show was great. They had uh, Vacuous Deaths, which is a band from Tampa. They were on the show. Grave Filth, a band called X something, Extinguished. And it was opened up by another local band, Othelon. Hopefully, I pronounced that correctly and got it right. Actually, fun story about that. Othelon, the guitar player and vocalist, he's another guy, like one of the last shows I went to with the Belfagor show with one of the openers. One of the guys up on the bass player for that band, he's always in the pits at all the shows I go to. And this guy's another one who's in the pits at a lot of the shows I go to. So it's kind of fun, just seeing the fans having their bands and all that sort of thing. But I did kind of laugh because I was like, gosh damn, am I the only person on the planet that doesn't have a band? But you also wouldn't want to hear me play music. So there's that. But give me a start. And believe it or not, somebody actually recognized me. I don't know how. I don't have a lot of subscribers on my channel, but someone's like, "It's Moonshine," and I said hi to him, but didn't really talk to him too much because he was going one way, and I was just kind of hanging out outside for a brief moment. But yeah, look at that. This YouTubing stuff actually works. But anyhow, gonna do a couple reviews here. I'm gonna try to keep it within a decent amount of time. Oh, and Cardiac Arrest were awesome. It's early, my brain is still defrosting, so bear with me. But yeah, I'm going to try and do a couple reviews. I'm going to try to stick to a certain time. If I end up going over, then I'm just going to sign off and I'll split them up. So, anyhow, the two reviews are going to be Pagan Altar, their brand new album, Never Quite Dead. And then I'll get to the next one in a few moments, hopefully, if I don't babble on too long. But anyhow, Pagan Altar is they're a new wave of British heavy metal, veering into doom early on in their career. They've been around since the late 70s, 1978 to be exact. They were formed and founded by Terry and Alan Jones, a father and son duo. Terry, who is unfortunately since passed from cancer back in 2015, he was the singer vocalist for the band, and his son Alan was a guitar player. And they had quite a few albums. Volume One, Book of Shadows, Lords of Hypocrisy, Time Lord EP, uh, ton of stuff. They don't get a lot of attention from a lot of people. They're probably, I think a lot of times when you hear about Pagan Altar, you hear about them being a band that's as cult and underground can be, particularly in the doom side of things. They don't get quite the attention that, say, Sabbath or Pentagram or Candlemass does, but they are a very good band. This is the second album that they've done since Terry Jones passed away. The first one was Book of Shadows, and then he still had a lot of input on that album. And then, from what I gathered, doing the little minimal amount of research that I tried to do on this one, uh, they used a lot of material that they still had available, that his son Alan had available to use, and they came up with this one. They got a new singer, Brendan Radigan. He does an excellent job on this, and it's rounded out by Deacon Harper and on bass and Andy Green on drums. And they credit a gentleman by the name of Dennis Schneider, who does live guitar with them. But yeah, Never Quite Dead came out on Dying Victim Productions on Friday the 25th of April. And again, London-based doom new wave of British heavy metal band. Now they're pretty much, I would say, more or less just kind of like a doom proto doom band. And the album itself is two, four, six. It's 8 tracks, but we're gonna say seven because one of the tracks on it, Westbury Express, is more of like a very brief folk instrumental piece. So I don't know. To me, it's not really a song, but it's still on there. So yeah, let's get into this a little bit. Um, it starts off with Saints and Sinners.
All saints and sinners. All saints and sinners. All saints and sinners. In the still the young minds without fear of evil ways. Out of the wild clouds in infamy. There are things that rely us. Why is the spine washed in favor law? Just how dark the night of history. All saints and sinners.
And that probably has a very retro rock, deep purplish rainbow feel to it. Very good, very cool opener. If you're not into that sort of thing, then you're probably not going to enjoy it. And unfortunately, you might just go and out the door the old pagan altar goes. But and then it goes into Liston Church. Very good song. Definitely more along the lines of a proto doom sound to it. Very good stuff. Very cool. Uh, I would say the next two tracks, Madam, either Rochelle or M. Rochelle, and Adam M. Rochelle's Graves. Uh, those are probably the two weakest tracks on the album. They didn't really do a whole hell of a lot for me, but uh, they they're fine. But they're serviceable, but they didn't really do too much for me. They weren't like, oh yeah, these are fantastic. But then you get into the second half of the album, and you get to the stuff where I think is really kind of like the meat of the album. This is where it kind of it starts kicking off a little bit. You get Well of Despair, which is probably the most doomy song on the album. It sounds it sounds a lot like you've got little like mixes of Trouble in there and Solitude Eternus, Candlemass. You can hear all of those elements. Like they do the I've been trying to figure out a way to describe the guitars on certain parts of the song where it's almost kind of like echoey, but it's in the background with a little bit of reverb going on, and Alan Jones is just kind of like bending the strings, and it just kind of like wails out there in the background. It's not too up on Front Street as far as that goes, but it's something it's pretty common with a lot of Trouble songs. If you're familiar with the way they construct their songs, you can kind of hear a lot of that in there. But yeah, this is a very good song. Very cool. It was one of those where I was on the elliptical and I was listening to it, and it's kind of like, all right, Saints and Sinners, that's kind of cool. All right, that's good. All right. Ooh, what do we got going on here? Yeah. This is what. But yeah, so that was that one, Well of Despair. Then it goes into the Dead's Last March. This was the first single that I heard. It was they posted it online. This is, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's the first actual song that they've done entirely with Brendan Radigan, and he did a great. This is a great song. He's just very haunting vocals on it. The pacing of the song, the just everything about it. The lyrics are really cool. You know, it just talks about like you know fogs and mists and corpses rising from the dead and all sorts of stuff like that. It's very very ghoulish fun and very very cool track. You can listen to a little bit of it right now. Or you can go listen to the entire song online, or go pick up the damn album because you're. I'm not going to steer you wrong here. This thing rips. But anyhow, then it goes into Westbury Express, like I mentioned, and then it goes into the final track, Kismet, which this is a banger. This is such a good song. Just the way that it's arranged, and this is really kind of where Andy Green gets off as far as like his drumming, just real pounding and aggressive and hits at the right spots in the song and really accents the song really nicely. It's kind of like a bit of a love song, but not quite like like cheesy lame uh, super 80s power ballad kind of song. It's got I don't know. I couldn't really do, but it's got element. Thematically, lyrically, it's very much a love song, but it hits hard. It's a really really good song. Just the way they do everything. Even some of you get I think on this one you get the bass slides in the back and the way that that accents everything. Very very cool stuff. But yeah, man, this was a killer album. I would say just going track wise and the stuff that I liked. Out of 7 songs, I really liked 5 of them. So, for if we were to grade it, I would say a 5 out of 7, which is pretty damn good. But definitely recommend this one. This one is a fantastic album. We're getting a lot of good doom coming out this year. I mean, just some killer stuff is coming out. On top of the Pentagram that came out, you got this one. Witchcraft has an album coming out in a couple of weeks, which will be excellent. I already have that on pre-order. I mentioned it previously. Hippie Death Cult has a live album that's coming out. I actually get my copy of that when I get my Witchcraft coming in, and yeah, and you got Down is they're insisting they're putting new stuff out later this year. I've even heard little rumors that maybe Crowbar might be toying with the idea of putting something out later this year. So I'm a dum dum, and I forgot that I actually had access to samples of the music for Pagan Altar, so I didn't hit my marks like I thought I was going to. So I'm gonna do this. This is gonna be a separate one, and then the review that you're gonna see after this will be a separate one. I tried doing them both together, but it didn't work out that way. And also, it gave me an opportunity because I forgot to mention this that if you want a good recommendation as far as something that's similar to this new Pagan Altar, go check out this new Blood Cult. This is We're Gonna Take Your Soul. I've mentioned it before. It's on Witches Brew Records, and it has a lot of similarities to the Pagan Altar. So if you're looking for something new but the same but different, then definitely go check these guys out. It'll be worth your while. All right, so this is Dan Moonshine from Moonshine Talking. Everyone, stay sick, stay heavy, stay brutal. Always tuck a chin upon it back. Don't forget to breathe. Everyone have a good one. All right, I gotta go to work. Later.